Keir, how many more children in Palestine have to die before you call for a ceasefire? Over 7,000 children have died. Over 7,000 children have been slaughtered by Israel. This is unacceptable. What happened to human rights?
The lad who confronted Starmer on the train, he doesn't want his identity to be massively publicised, which means that many of us could claim to be that individual and dine out on it for a while because it was so welcomed by tens, hundreds of thousands of people. It just so happened he was on the train. It wasn't planned. He was down in London for work.
Keir Starmer, you are facilitating Israel's genocide in Gaza. Stop the killing of children. Stop the massacre of over 7,000 babies. Freedom for Palestine. Stop the genocide. You're responsible for killing babies in Gaza.
It just so happened, by the way, I was in Central Station at 5 o'clock when Starmer was due to arrive. His train was delayed by 40 minutes. So I was able to phone one person who got the message out to, and I think in about 15 minutes, there were about 25 of us, and then people kept on arriving and gave him the welcome that he so richly deserved. Starmer is so reviled and so hated for his open support for the government on the genocide issue in Gaza that a lot of people were impelled and felt it was a great opportunity to come and vent their anger.
Palestine, free, free! Starmer, you should be in prison. Starmer, you should be in prison. You can't hide, Starmer!
Nobody laid a finger on anybody. Nobody had any interest in laying a finger. What our aim to do, what our aim was to express our feelings, revulsion and horror at what's going on in Gaza.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
It's clear that millions of people are utterly disenchanted with Starmer's position. And clearly, if 70% of the population want a ceasefire, then that majority is even greater amongst Labour supporters.
This lot here ought to be ashamed of themselves, hiding behind the curtains.
So he's not come out today, has he?
No, he hasn't. Ran away like a coward he is.
Is he supposed to be here on Friday?
Yeah, every Friday and Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
We've wrote to him. Yeah. He'll not answer replies to us. He's hiding behind because it's basically people have said he's complicit as a war criminal. What's happening in Gaza, and Healy's took offence and he's rattled about that statement. But any day you can't argue with evidence. He's supported the illegal war in Afghanistan, the illegal war in Iraq, and now he's supporting what Israelis are doing. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be standing up for humanity. He's cruel again.
He's a bloodthirsty maniac.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 5 questions to ask Healy, and I've asked him in the press. I've asked him personally in correspondence. First question is: does Mr. Healy accept that Israel is an apartheid state? Does he believe Palestine has a right to self-defence like Israel have? Does he agree that BDS or sanctions should be applied on Israel? And does Healy support the scrapping of the arms trade to Israel? And finally, does he agree that the Zionist Israel lobby have too much influence over his fellow MPs within the Labour Party?
We've been lied to before. In all the conflicts of aggression, we've been lied to before. We've seen it before, and we know that the press is complicit in this. The press is usually supine to power. You can go in, there are lots of reasons for that. We don't need to go into them here, but this is true, and we're being lied to now. And the remarkable thing that I find is that people in these positions have nimble minds. People like John Healy, they know the truth, they know the arguments, they understand it all. We don't need to say it to them. And what they deal in is at a distance statements, at a distance articles, where they can deal in vague and shapeless terms that don't translate into anything specific, so that you can then seem to have said something without saying anything at all. And what we're saying is we're not here to intimidate John Healey. We're here respectfully as Democrats to protest. And we would love it if he stopped for 5 or 10 minutes and answered a few questions and answered them to the best of his ability. We have real questions. We want real answers. And look, if we're wrong, we'll put our hands up and say, we misunderstood this. But the truth is that we're not wrong. And the problem is that knowing that these questions are unanswerable, and there's nobody here to cut it short or to allow them escape, that they can't answer the question.
Labour Party, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Labour Party, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Labour Party, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! Labour Party, you can't hide! We charge you with genocide! This is what Emily Thornberry said about Gaza. She was asked this question: do you think cutting off food and water and electricity is within international law? Emily Thornberry said this, and I quote, "I think Israel has an absolute right to defend itself." Did Emily vote for a ceasefire? No! Oh, and here we go, the last one on this list of shame. Keir Starmer. We all know his famous interview with Nick Fiat Punto. He said, I'll never say Nick Ferrari, he don't look like a Ferrari. Keir Starmer said this: Israel has the right to withhold power and water from Gaza! Did Keir Starmer vote for a ceasefire? No! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
The Labour Party, who we are here today to show our contempt for, are the party of the opposition. They are meant to be the ones pushing the Tory government to do the right thing, or to at least have less crap policies on things. And instead, what have they done? They have done absolutely nothing. In fact, they've done worse than nothing, because they've enabled this genocide to carry on through absolute political cowardice, which has been absolutely revolting to witness. The lack of moral clarity of any of these Labour MPs who abstained on a ceasefire a few weeks ago is truly astonishing to behold. I didn't realise that being a Labour MP or being a Labour frontbencher meant you had to have your spine surgically removed, but apparently it does. Apparently it does. And I have to say, David Lammy has, in the last couple of days, said that he thinks the death and destruction in Gaza is intolerable. And he's right. But what's more intolerable is that they won't call for a ceasefire. What are you doing? What is the point of you? How can you stand it?
When the Labour Party was established, it was established for the workers. It was established for the oppressed. It was not established to support the colonizer against the colonized. What is happening in Gaza today is not a conflict, and it has never been a conflict. It has been a colonization of Palestinian people.
As long as Keir Starmer is in charge, I will not be voting Labour. And as long as there is no call for a Palestinian state, I will not be voting Labour.
Keir Starmer! Get in the bin! Get in the bin! One more time! Keir Starmer! Get in the bin! Get in the bin! Keir Starmer, during his election campaign, was given £50,000 from the millionaire Sir Trevor Chin, who is a pro-Israel lobbyist. However, he didn't reveal this information until after he was elected as Labour Party leader. Shame. He's not the only one. Rayner, Lammy, Nandi are all funded either by Chin or the Labour Friends of Israel. They are not on your side. They are not on the side of working class people, marginalised people, or the people dying in Gaza. So at the next election, when Keir Starmer lies to you again, and Lammy lies to you again, and Nandi lies to you again, you're going to remind them that they are charged with genocide.
Labour Party, shame, shame! All the crimes in your name! All the crimes in your name! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Palestine!